Public hearings at the state capitol revealed new details about failures in their response to the mass shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde. 19 children and 2 teachers died. That hearing gave us the most extensive timeline yet of what happened back on May 24th. As Monica Madden shows us, criticism over the response focused on one person.
There's compelling evidence that the law enforcement response to the attack at Robb Elementary was an abject failure and antithetical to everything we've learned over the last 2 decades since the Columbine.
In powerful testimony lasting nearly 5 hours,
Terrible decisions were made.
The state's top law enforcement officer pulled no punches.
The only thing stopping a hallway of dedicated officers from entering room 111 and 112 was the on-scene commander, who decided to place the lives of officers before the lives of children.
He said 3 minutes after the gunman came onto campus, armed officers inside could have stopped him. In a photo obtained by the Texas Tribune, you can see these officers in the hallway. This is 12:04 p.m. Authorities did not storm the classroom until 12:50 p.m. The Cross says Incident Commander Pete Arredondo misled officers.
What officers were being told is the subject is contained.
And he revealed another devastating detail about the door.
I don't believe, based on the information that we have right now, that that door was ever secured.
Before the shooting, a teacher reported her classroom door did not lock properly, and we learned the school's doors do not lock from the inside.
We set up a condition to failure in an active shooter environment.
Monica Madden for State of Texas.
Testimony at the Senate hearing focused blame on Pete Arredondo, the chief of Uvalde Consolidated ISD Police. Critics, however, say a lot of details are missing still. Uvalde's mayor spoke out during a city council meeting. Mayor Don McLaughlin called the DPS leaders' testimony to lawmakers misleading.
Every briefing, he leaves out the number of his own officers and rangers that were on scene that day. He leaves out that during this timeline, every other classroom in the building was safely evacuated by Uvalde police officers with assistance of Border Patrol. He leaves out that no other agency's officers even asked to approach the door, much less did it without shields.
Those remarks came on Tuesday night. On Wednesday morning, Uvalde's State Senator Roland Gutierrez sued the DPS over the release of records. I spoke with Senator Gutierrez to get insight about what he hopes to accomplish with that lawsuit.
What exactly are you seeking, and how do you think that will help explain what happened that day in Uvalde?
Well, we're seeking records, we're seeking information as to situational logistics, where people were and when, how much time each agent spent at any given post, who was directing them, who was ordering them. We found out Tuesday that there was 91 DPS troopers on site. The first showed up within 16 minutes. My problem in all of this is that you have Colonel McCraw pointing the fingers at so many other agencies. And the fact is, all the responsibility shouldn't be borne by one person or one entity. There was failure at every level. We had communication failure, system failure, human error here.
What concerns do you have about working with DPS on the ongoing investigation, given your lawsuit and pressing publicly for details from them?
Well, listen, they're accountable to the Texas legislature. And that dog and pony show we heard the other day, where we heard body cam footage from other people, but none from DPS, except for a little bit of self-serving body cam footage. We need to get all of the body cam footage. We're very quick to point out that this other guy, whom I don't know, was responsible here. But at the end of the day, he didn't have his radios. There was no radios that were even operable in the hallway. And so how in the world anybody says that this guy's in charge? What I think happened here, Will, is that this was a chaotic situation where the perfect storm of no communication, no leadership, no command and control happened. And it caused this 48-minute delay where these poor children, unfortunately, a few of them might have lost their lives there at the end by bleeding out. I hope that people understand that are watching your show that I'm trying to make sure that we never have this happen again in Texas, and that we need to ask our representatives in government to change at least a few laws. Make sure that an 18-year-old can't go buy an assault rifle like he's shopping at the 7-Eleven. That's what happened here. We can raise an age limit. We deserve that. These people deserve that. I think most Texans agree with me. It's my hope we can get back into the Capitol to do that. But unfortunately, the governor refuses to call a special session. We're 54 days away from the school start, 54 days closer. God forbid that this happen again, but we all know that it will. As long as Greg Abbott doesn't do anything about it. This is his 6th massacre now. I'm starting to think he's not just tone deaf. I'm starting to feel that he's just a callous man that doesn't care about our children.
On Thursday, members of the Texas Democratic House Caucus again urged Governor Abbott to call a special session. 58 lawmakers signed onto a letter asking the governor to include several reforms on the agenda. Those include raising the age to purchase AR-15 style weapons, enacting red flag laws in Texas, and requiring background checks on gun purchases. House Democrats said the list came from suggestions they heard from voters during a series of town hall meetings held across Texas. Work to make schools safer will have a big price tag, and voters could decide how much to pay. We'll dig deeper into costs for one Texas district trying to prevent the next mass shooting.